The Last Wish will be going down as one of Bungie's best raids to date, right up there with King's Fall, Vault of Glass, and Wrath of the Machine. Bungie definitely kept their word and added way more bosses this time around, but for this encounter, however, as well as the next, you're going to have to use your brains from here on out. Guardians, what's up ladies and gentlemen of the nation? Your boy Sly here, back at it with another Last Wish raid guide. This is part 4, or the Vault Mechanism. So you have conquered the easy parts of the raid, now it's time for the final 3 encounters, starting with the Vault Security Mechanism. Now this encounter can be a bit challenging at first, however, once you and all your teammates learn this fight, it not only becomes fun, but fast as well. Your first time on this encounter might take a little time to learn, however, stick with it and you will finally get that aha moment, just like every other raid encounter. So let's not keep Riven waiting, guys. Let's hop in, crack this vault, and get the show on the road. But before we do, there is a hidden chest located after Morgeth, but before the vault. Now, it's not normally there. You have to wish it there. So before you even start the raid, right before Kali, you must input the code at the Wall of Wishes. Now, unfortunately, my portable hard drive packed up his bags and left for the trash can prematurely. In those bags were precious footage of my first time finding the chest, the code to the Wall of Wishes, and tons of footage showing off various perspectives that was just made for this video. So now I have to make do with using footage of my first clear during week 1, which isn't ideal, but it will work out. However, that means you're going to have to find another guide for the chest and the code to the wall, something I sincerely apologize for, but my dead hard drive says he's sorry as well. Anyways guys, so the vault is definitely a small fight, but that makes it easy for everyone to see what's going on, which is a good thing. Now, first things first, let's talk about preparation. From the very first fight all the way up to the vault, each encounter has been teaching you certain mechanics in which that all comes together during the fight with Riven. Counting from left to right, top to bottom, the Eye of Riven Captain, all the symbols, taken strength, etc. In this fight, you're going to need to know symbols and how to use the buff that drops from the Eye of Riven Captain. From here on out, and in order to avoid confusion later, start calling the Eye of Riven captains just as captains or relic captains. And the thing the Eye of Riven drops, just call that taken essence or relic. You don't want to start using the word eye on anything else, because there's going to be plenty of that coming up next. So starting with loadouts, you're going to need your trusty Ikelos shotgun handy with Sleeper Simulant. If you don't have Ikelos, then a Badlander or any full auto solar shotgun works very nicely. Having a solar Badlander with a major spec mod on it is almost as good as Ikelos. I mean, mods are pretty damn strong these days in D2, so definitely start using them. As for primary, I'll use my trusty Year 1 Better Devils, but pulse rifles are a great option, auto rifles, bows, whichever kinetic you're best with, and make sure power the highest. Again, we're not going for boss damage here, but you will need to dish out some damage as well. We'll talk about that here in a few. Now, as far as subclasses, Blade Barrage and Tether for Hunters. Warlocks go for Chaos Reach or Nova Bomb, however Dawnblade also works well. You're not really going to need your Well of Radiance here, so just go ahead and pack that up. Titans go for Thunder Crash or the new Solar Super, also works well because the Tornado launches enemies in the air. However, once again, you just cannot beat the good old Top Tree Hammer Bro. Melting Point is just life. So this encounter will be 5 power higher than Morgeth, who is 570. Enemies here are 575. If you're underleveled, and by that I mean like 560 or below, then try to use supers or things that can heal you. The Warlock has Devour, Titans have their new Hammer Buddy, Hunters can use the Worm Helmet while rocking Tether, that way you can go invis and heal yourself at the same time. Or if your Crimson is up, up to power, you can use that as well. In week 1, I went through this thing at 560 and a few others were like in their middle to low 550s. So don't worry if you are underleveled, because it is completely possible to beat this and not that bad of an experience. Morgeth is way harder than this. So now that we have the loadouts down, guys, let's learn the area. The lock itself is the mechanism you see right here in the center. Once activated, you'll see these small walls start to rotate around it, along with rotating symbols that kind of sound like you're turning a key every round. It's a pretty neat fight. Also, notice the plates in the center. They line up perfectly with 3 distinctly different looking areas directly behind them. These plates and the areas behind them will get the same name. Different teams have different names for each area, but this is how I labeled them. So when coming into the vault from the lift, the area to your left that's all green and foresty looking, let's call that side Forest. The plate that corresponds with it, well, that of course will be Forest plate. The area where my perspective is from, this area here where we enter from the lift, that's also where you spawn in and where your rally banner will be located. So you can call it spawn, rally banner, stairwell, stairs, lift, whatever works for you. I simply called it spawn, and then the area to your right, you'll notice it has a huge rock right in the center and everything around it surrounded by columns or pillars. So we call that area pillars. From left to right, forest on left, spawn center, pillars on right. Whatever you call them is irrelevant. As long as you and your team know which area is what, that's what really matters. You could call it ketchup, mustard, and pickles if you wanted to. As long as you know which side is what, that's really what matters here. So why the labeling? Well, because later on, you're going to have to give other players directions. A barricade will close off a few of these areas while someone gets trapped inside, and your teammates are going to have to tell you which direction to go and how to get out. You'll have to be quick or you will die from a timer, which I'll explain in full once we get there. So to the left and right of each area, forest, spawn, and pillar, there will be tunnels that connect one another. Think of this room as a triangle, and that every angle or corner of that triangle has a circular room on it. Each room will be connected to one another by a tunnel on each side, so even though a few of these areas will be blocked off by a huge taken barrier, you can always get out by using the tunnels to the right or left. So say for instance, I'm trapped behind the barrier at spawn. Teammates will tell me that forest is open or pillar is open. So when you hear that, take the tunnel that leads to the call out. If you're at spawn, forest is to your left, pillar is to your right. If you're at pillar, spawn is to your left, forest is to your right. And if you're at forest, of course, pillar is going to be your left, spawn is to your right. Now there's more to it than that, but I just wanted to show you the map layout along with the tunnels. They're very important. It's best if you guys take some time and use all of the tunnels and just run around the location to better know the map. This will make things way easier when the time comes. So now that we have our loadouts and the map layout, let's get into the mechanics. So to start things off, just like any other encounter, you're going to want to break up into teams. For the vault security mechanism, we're going into 3 teams of 2. We'll have the forest team, spawn team, and pillar team. One member from each team will be plate holder or code breaker, and the other will be in charge of keeping the plate holder safe and clearing ads and also running the relic. So other teammate is the ad clearer and relic runner. Now even though we're in 3 teams of 2, there is also kind of a subgroup going on here. The subgroup consists of the 3 plate holders or code breakers. Once they are finished with code breaking, they're back to the normal teams. And as a side note, even though we are in teams, make sure everyone keeps an eye out for everyone else. Sometimes you're going to have to lend a hand no matter what team they're on. Alright, so let's get to the overall idea and then dive into the details. The idea is simple, and it's this. The 3 cymbal crackers have to use the symbols in the middle to decipher hints. These hints will tell you which plate needs to be cleansed by what buff, and these buffs will once again drop from the taken captains called the Eye of Riven. After the plate holders have deciphered which plates need which buff, the areas will start opening one at a time. The other 2 will have barriers blocking them off, and by areas I mean forest, spawn, or pillar. Plate holders can head over to the open area and shoot ads from a distance, but do not walk past the area where taken barriers set up. It's going to come back, and you don't want to be inside when it does. It will throw things off, throw off rotation, and you'll waste a ton of time. So plate holders, head to the open side, but do not enter it. Shoot from behind the line. Ad clearers and relic runners for each team, stay by your plate and your area, but feel free to pop off some shots from a distance. Only the runner or ad clearing partner for the side that's open is allowed to enter that area. Just as a general rule, everyone else needs to stay back behind the location where the taken barrier can spawn, because it will trap you sooner or later, and if your whole team is trapped or just a few of you, then you're pretty much screwed. So fight from the back, and once you see the Eye of Riven captain, which we'll simply call Relic Captain from now on, once you see him, drop him and the taken essence relic will pop up. Everyone else stays back and shoots the remaining enemies, while the ad clearing partner for that particular side will go in, pick up the taken essence buff, and just like the other encounters, they will become taken. The taken essence buff for this encounter is the exact same thing as the past 2 encounters, Shirochi and Morgeth. Right trigger fires those small taken missiles, Grenade will cleanse, and Super gets rid of the buff or stuns bosses. Now since there are no bosses to stun here, you're only going to use your Super to rid yourself of the buff. The plate that you're cleansing are the same ones the 3 code breakers are standing on. So the runner grabs the taken essence and the barrier will trap the runner inside. The runner then needs to look at the bottom left of their screen, and they're going to see either Penumbra or Anthem along with times 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Whatever it is, Penumbra or Antumbra, they need to call it out. Now, it might not make sense to you or the other runners, but it will make sense to the 3 code crackers. Once the runner calls out the particular buff that they have, the code crackers will say something like spawn is open, cleanse forest. So, since the runner is stuck behind the barrier in the pillar area, they know that they have to go to spawn to their left to get out, because spawn is to their left. So, take the left tunnel, exit out of spawn, head to the forest plate, and then use your grenade ability to cleanse that plate. Simply walk on top of it, use your grenade button, and poof, you're done. Whichever button you have set for your grenade, that's also the one that's going to be used to cleanse. If you're using an elite controller or like a special controller, whichever button you have set for grenade, that's also your cleanse button with the taken essence, just like freeing someone from the tornado at Morgoth. Alright guys, so once the first plate is cleansed, the next phase is about to begin. Now, since spawn is open, which is the way you walk through to exit, adds will flood in from spawn along with another relic captain. The ad clearer / relic runner for spawn will take down the captain, and then once it's down, they'll enter the area, grab the taken essence. Once that happens, spawn side barrier will close and another will open. Only one barrier will be open at a time when you're doing this fight and you're at this stage. So then y'all just simply repeat it. Call out which buff you have, Penumbra or Antumbra. Depending on which plate needs what, the code breaker will know which plate they need to send you to. So they'll say, for instance, forest is open, cleanse pillar plate. That means the runner from spawn who has the taken essence will take the tunnel to their left leading to forest, then exit out of forest and head over to the pillar plate. Once again, use grenade to cleanse it. Just like the other encounters, once you get to ×10 taken essence, it will kill you. After the second plate is cleansed, do this one more time and the round is over. However, there is a catch while you're doing this. There will be these big tanky yellow bar sword knights, running at you every once in a while. These sword knights are the wipe mechanic, and they have a one-track mind like a dude after a prom party. They charge into the room, through the taken barrier, and try to bury their sword into the center of one of the 3 plates. As soon as their sword touches the plates, your team will die. There will be 1 sword knight the first time, 2 the second, and then finally there will be 3. So that means at one point, each team will be responsible for their own yellow bar knight. And this is where supers and shotguns come in handy. Melting Point with Ikelos or Melting Point Blade Barrage, even Slova Bomb, all of those work nicely. Now sometimes if you're lucky, when you pick up a taken essence, a yellow bar knight will spawn in directly after you grab it, pretty much right next to you. As long as you're fast, you can get a handful of shots on him with the taken essence and get him down like a third before he exits the taken barrier. Now if you see a yellow bar knight, it is imperative that you call it out ASAP. Especially if your side has a taken barrier, because your teammates cannot shoot through the barrier. So basically, you have to wait until he exits the barrier, and then you only have like 20 feet of damage opportunity to stop this knight, or you're screwed. Now, I haven't tried using a Titan Barricade or Ward of Dawn with the Saint 14 to see if you can blind and stagger him, but usually enemies that charge like that run right through blinding obstacles. Tether will slow him as well as a smoke grenade, but it will not completely stop him. Supers, grenades, Ikelos, burn that dude down as fast as possible. There will be 3 rounds total, and the 3rd round will have 3 knights, 1 for each plate. If your area is the one without the taken barrier and it's completely open, you'll see your dude spawn in and start to run. Go ahead and get there early and melt your dude down as quickly as possible, then split up to help out the other teams with barriers. Like I mentioned, they will only get a small window of opportunity to stop that guy. Once you do 3 rounds of cleansing plates and stopping knights, the lock opens and Riven is no longer behind lock and key. The walk up to Riven is one awesome place. But anyways, that's pretty much the gist of the fight. Now let's get to the hard part of this, being a code breaker. However, this is really only hard your first couple times through it. After some practice rounds, it's going to be a walk in the park. So as you know, you're going to be splitting up into 3 teams of 2, Forest, Spawn, and Pillar. You will need 1 plate holder or code breaker per team. Step onto the plates, and once all 3 are on, the encounter will officially start. Ad clearing teammates, make sure to do your job and protect the plate holder. Kill the thrall because they're going to be going after your partner pretty much the entire time. So first of all, guys, let's get down these 2 words, Penumbra and Antumbra. The easiest way I remember them is by pairing up the words ant and right. Antumbra is right, ant right, Penumbra is left. As long as you can remember ant right, the rest falls into place. So Antumbra right, Penumbra left. There's a dirtier way to remember these, but let's stick to Ant and right. So once again, guys, start everything from left to right. 3 circles will appear in front of you. And within that circle will be 3 of the 16 symbols in this raid. Now don't freak out. Here is a chart that you can use for this encounter. It works for Riven as well. Just pause this here or take a screenshot and save it for later. Now I have more cheat sheets for Riven as well, but we'll get there soon enough. For this phase, a chart does help, but you have plenty of time to just describe what you're seeing, like bird looking left, bird on a branch, twin-headed snake, etc. So don't worry about that, you'll get it eventually. The cymbal cracking seems complicated, but it's actually pretty simple, guys. So you want to start off by reading the middle plate first. Now, I don't really think the order here actually matters, but that's just how we, discovered it. So there will be 3 symbols in front of you and 3 in front of each plate holder. And you only want to read off what you see in the center. One of the other 2 plates will have your center symbol on their screens as well. It's going to be on either the left or right hand side of their screen. Depending on which side of the screen it's on, that's how you know which plate receives which buff. Remember, Antumbra right, Penumbra left. So this is where everything comes together, guys. So since my footage was corrupted and lost in the trash can, let's make up a hypothetical situation. Say, for instance, spawned plate has the following 3 symbols on it. We have left, bird branch, middle, circle fish, right is bird left. Forest symbols, left, circle fish, middle, fire right, right, spear. And on pillar, we have left, spear left, middle, bird branch, right, fire right. So spawn plate calls out his middle symbol first, which as you can see here is circle fish. The other 2 plates are looking to see if they have circle fish on their screen, and if so, is it on the left or on the right? Well, as you can see on screen here, guys, Forest has circle fish, and it's on the left side of their screen. Well, we know Antumbra, Ant, is right, Penumbra is left. So if Circlefish is on the left-hand side of Forest Plate, then that means Forest Plate needs a Penumbra cleanse. So when you're at the stage where the runner gets the Taken Essence relic, the runner will either have the Penumbra or the Antumbra buff. As soon as you hear one of the 3 runners has Penumbra, you tell them to cleanse Forest Plate, and that's how it works in a nutshell. But you have to find out the buffs for all 3 plates before you can cleanse them. So let's head back to where we were, guys. We know now that Forest needs a Penumbra cleanse, and since we ended on Forest, we have to start there next. So Forest now calls their middle symbol, which is fire right. As you can see, Pillar has fire right on the right-hand side of their screen. And which buff do you need for right? Remember, Ant right. So Antumbra, Pillar needs the Antumbra cleanse. So now we're at the point where Forest needs Penumbra, Pillar needs Antumbra, and now we're almost done. Since we left off on Pillar, Pillar now reads their middle symbol, which is Bird Branch. Spawn has Bird Branch on their left Penumbra. So Spawn needs Penumbra, and there we go, guys. That means we have Forest Plate, Penumbra, Spawn Plate, Penumbra, Pillar, Antumbra. Once it's figured out, guys, you can now join your team to help kill enemies. One of the 3 taken barriers will open up. You simply focus on adds. The Eye of Riven will spawn in, drop him, then have the runner for whichever side go in, grab the Taken Essence. That will then close the barrier and open up another one. As the runner picks up the Taken Essence, they'll look at the bottom left of their screen, call out if they have Penumbra or Antumbra. Then all you have to do is simply match up the buffs to the plate. But that's it, guys. Do that 3 times and you have unlocked the vault. Now it's on to Riven, which is a whole nother ball game. However, it's just like any other raid boss, guys. After you get each phase down, it becomes easy. Every day, players are finding tricks to do massive damage to Riven, such as cluster bombs with boss specs, so it won't be that bad. But I'm finishing up my Riven guide as we speak, so keep an eye out for that. But my friends, that is it for me. I really hope this guide explains things as simply as possible. Once you get the hang of it, the vault becomes fast and just another encounter to get through, dare I almost say fun. Enjoy the Loot Guardians. The Last Wish raid is the best way to get your power level up, so even if you cannot beat Riven, getting to her isn't hard. Get your characters in there and go as far as possible before the reset so you don't lose out on the most powerful rewards in the game. But I'm out, ladies and gents. Once again, thank you for watching and for supporting Sly Nation. Feel free to check me out on Twitter or Facebook at Sly Nation or Sly Nation Gaming on the FB. Subscribe for more Destiny 2 Forsaking and Dreaming City guides, including more Last Wish videos. Spank the thumbs up, but only if you enjoyed yourself, and comment down below if you need help, have any tips or tricks, or if you just want to say what's up. Take care, y'all, and keep an eye out for my Riven Guide as well as Clan Raid challenges, which will be coming out here soon. But until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.